Hey, welcome back, guys. Snowfall's 5th episode this season, entitled The Get Back, was arguably its most intense in tone. Leon was forced to face the fallout from his violent blunder in more ways than one, and Franklin's decision to protect his day one can possibly be his undoing in the episodes to come. I'll be breaking it all down in typical Top 10 WTF fashion. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. Lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things Snowfall. Here we go. WTF moment number 10, Explosive. The 10th episode starts with Leon and Fatback incinerating the murder car as the first phase of Leon's lay low campaign. The two of them conduct this the old-fashioned way, hanging a cloth from the gas tank, lighting it, and semi-hilariously reacting surprised by the explosive results. WTF moment number 9, You Can't Stay Here. Leon tries to store away at his mother's home, a home that he provided for her via his drug exploits. Much to his dismay, he's denied entry by the matriarch and informed that his getaway funds have been used up by the family. Though cold on the surface, Leon's mom was correct in protecting what's left of her family, as we would later see by the attempt on her eldest son's life. WTF moment number 8, A Courtesy Returned. Manboy pays a visit to Franklin and his organization and conveys that it was Leon who murdered his baby niece. The infuriated drug boss then demands Franklin to handle the situation, similar to Manboy's previous discarding of his own associate following a rift with Sane and his crew. The thinly veiled threat put Franklin in the tightest of spots, one that would test his loyalty to his friend and credibility in the street. WTF moment number 7, Sheltered Leon. Following Leon's lack of residence, he's discovered by Alton at his homeless shelter, something Leon learned from during his time in the alleys of LA. Alton brings Leon's presence to the attention of Franklin, who subsequently hides his old friend out in one of his rental properties. WTF moment number 6, Dreams and Nightmares. Leon is awakened by a maniacal Franklin and Jerome under a dark backdrop. The two stand over him gun in hand and proclaim that no one's dumb enough to leave him with a loaded piece. Franklin then assures Leon that he is indeed the smart one before taking the shot. Following this sequence, Leon awakens to a seemingly sad Khadijah crying hysterically over his corpse. Those sobs then quickly switch to maniacal laughter as the figment takes pride in Leon's sudden demise. WTF moment number 5, Reconciliation. Khadijah bridges the long-existing gap between Manboy and Scully. Much to the latter's chagrin, Scully is initially confrontational to his brother-in-law, but Manboy's words of wisdom, along with Khadijah's unwavering presence, jumpstart their pending alliance, which spells nothing but bad news for Franklin moving into the final 5. WTF moment number 4, Death Before Dishonor. Manboy and Scully plot to retaliate for their shared loss. During Scully's tattoo session, Khadijah storms in and demands more from her family and their efforts. The furious Mama Bear then affirms that they both owe her for her daughter's loss, which is piercingly accurate, leading Scully to immediately hit the street while Manboy hung back with his sister for support. WTF moment number 3, On the Run. Leon's face is plastered all over the news in the aftermath of the murderous shootout. Franklin returns to the hideout to remove Leon. However, much to his surprise, his old friend is now on the run, fearful and distrustful of just about everyone. WTF moment number 2, Target Locked. Scully hunts down Leon per Khadijah's ferocious push and finally finds him. He immediately begins his campaign towards removal of his daughter's murderer, shooting first and asking questions never. The fine shotgun work continues and probably would have prevailed had Franklin and Jerome not showed up to rescue Leon from certain death. And WTF moment number 1, Shark Smell Blood. Manboy pays Franklin a final visit and declares that there'd be no more business until Leon is forked over. He also threatened that Compton, Inglewood, and the projects will be off limits as a result. Franklin rebuffed his underling's position, stating that as long as he had the plug, the leverage surely followed. However, Manboy assured his frenemy that he's slipping by taking the loyalty path over business, and that sharks would surely arrive at his blood-stained doorstep. one way or the other. Some lingering thoughts before we end today's video. The title of this episode was The Get Back. Now, obviously, that pertains to Scully and Man-Boy getting back at Leon for his horrific crime against them. But there's more. Khadijah is mired with the hurdle of getting back to real life following her tragic loss, which has left everyone affected in a surreal state. Leon fights to get back to a psychological state of normalcy following the murder, and it's the roughest road we've ever seen him travel to date. Irene circulates her latest discoveries and revelations to get her newspaper company back on track, and Franklin fights to save Leon, hoping to get back to business and reestablish their floundering friendship, something that may prove too ambitious in the episodes to come. The scene where Sissy comes to Leon's emotional aid is one of Snowfall's most powerful. It was more than just her braiding his hair, but metaphorically unraveling the toxic thoughts ruling his psyche. It was a therapeutic moment for a critically fractured Leon. His mental state, post-committing the unthinkable, has really taken a toll on him, and he required that mother's touch that was previously denied by his own matriarch. The song that plays, by the way, is Tell Me More and More and Then Some by Nina Simone, and it just about makes you want to cry. Nobody brings that raw soul quite like Nina did. Speaking of mental state, I wonder how it will continue to deteriorate as Leon's story progresses and the guilt begins to mount. That dream sequence was only the beginning of the many nightmares to come, in this commentator's opinion, and his paranoia will only worsen as a result. We saw a different side of Scully post the murder of his daughter. That hardened gangster persona, while still intact, only served to expose the brokenness behind the man it protects. DeAndre Bonds deserves all the credit for his range in this regard. His scene during the autopsy was a prime example of such a shattered display. Although his reaction to the doctor saying, "Be that as it may," was unintentionally hilarious. Khadijah's portrayal in this episode was another strong point, speaking of range. To be a mother who just lost a child, she was cold, unnerving, and focused. You could really feel her rage with every scene. That subtle pathology that comes with a mother once her baby has been inexplicably harmed. She's one to watch going forward. I think Fatback is cooked in the very near future. With Leon now in the win, he's the only link to that heinous crime, save for Leon's family, and both will be dealt with accordingly. Lastly, you have to wonder, with all the drama surrounding Franklin, if Reed is beginning to feel like he's more trouble than he's worth. Franklin is not only hobbled physically, but now fully entrenched in the gang war, oppositional to both sides. His plug is the only thing standing between him and certain death, something that Franklin is fully aware of as he reaffirms this to Man-Boy during their final showdown. I'm starting to think that Franklin making such an assurance means that it could potentially be in jeopardy. Just look at Reed's face when Saint asks for yet another favor outside of the confines of their original arrangement. Does this look convey confidence going forward? If Reed believed he could get another distributor, Man-Boy, Scully, etc., and bypass the extra requests and favors, would he do it? It's something to definitely keep an eye on. And that'll do it for this one. How do you think things will play out for Leon, Franklin, and the crew going into the final 5 episodes? Be sure to drop me your thoughts in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are fans of Snowfall, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.